Loki finds out the variant has a plan, but he has his own that will forever alter both their destinies. Hello, everybody. I'm Steve from VALHARTV, and today I'll be reviewing Loki Episode 3. Episode 3 begins with female Loki asking about the timekeepers and how many people are guarding them. And all of this is taking place in a restaurant, which is, of course, a projection that we find out. And we find out that the person Loki took from the tent in the Renaissance Festival in Episode 2 is this girl she's sitting with having drinks in this restaurant. So we really get to see that this girl is trying to figure out what's going on as Loki's trying to get information, and eventually, we find out that, like in Episode 2, that she did get this information. And then we cut to female Loki going to the TVA, and she's taking out guards left and right with ease. Like, it's absolutely nothing for her. And, of course, male Loki follows her, and he tries to talk to her, and they fight. And he's trying to talk to her while they fight. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of typical for Loki, like in the movies. He did the same thing. And we end up seeing Ravana come in and try to delete both of them, and Loki picks up the tempad and transports them to another planet, another apocalypse. And we find out it's a planet called Lamentis 1, and it's 2077, and this is the worst apocalypse out of all of them, according to the female Loki. And we do find out that she doesn't like to be called Loki. She likes to be called Sylvie. And we find out that these are all aliases and things like that as they run and talk and walk and talk. And they eventually come to a town, which you kind of see them walking in the middle of nowheres, like in this episode, and then also, or this picture. But then they get to a town like right away. And it's like, oh, wait, what? Thought they were in the middle of nowheres. And they find one lady who's left, and she's in a house. And Sylvie kicks in the door and gets blasted right back. And I was like, oh, that's great. And Loki's like, let's try diplomacy. So he transforms into an image of her husband, and she blasts him back. And Sylvie gets up and looks at him and is like, so was that your diplomacy? And he's like, shut up. I actually laughed at that part. That was actually really funny. But that was the only funny part in this episode. They find out from the lady that there's one way off of this planet called the Ark, and that they got to try to board a train. So they start walking and talking and walking, and then eventually they get to the train, and it's like, boom, one place to another, it's all, and as they're walking and talking, you can really tell that they're not getting along, and Sylvie actually says multiple times that she's going to kill him as soon as she gets the tempad back. And he's like, no, let's work together. Come on. You've got a plan. I've got a plan. Let's work together and make one of the plans work, and it's like, wait, what? And the whole episode is really about them walking and talking and then just talking. And we get a few details on the train about Sylvie's past. And they talk about, different feelings, and they even talk about love, like what love is. And I kind of was like, huh? It really didn't make a lot of sense. Like, a lot of the dialogue didn't make a lot of sense in this. And honestly, this episode is a complete misfire. Marvel's done this in the other shows. There's been, episodes in, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and even kind of WandaVision, where there were, filler episodes, almost, where it just felt like it was there to be a placeholder until they can get to, towards the end episodes, and this literally felt like it was a throwaway SG1 episode. I really even hate to say SG1. This just felt like it was a throwaway episode, a placeholder. There's again so much walking and talking in this episode that the episode suffers from lazy tropes and other stuff like that. And then suddenly we see Loki and Sylvie go from the middle of nowheres to teleporting to the town, then teleporting to the Ark after they get thrown off a train. So it really, with all the talking and the walking, and it really didn't help this episode at all. The effects in this, though, I thought were actually pretty damn good. Lamentis 1's moon breaking up and pieces of it literally falling to the planet looked awesome for the most part. There's actually even one. It really kind of looks like it's a continuous shot where they're running through this town trying to get to the Ark to board it, and everything's blowing up around them. Buildings are falling, and they're throwing each other around, trying to keep from getting squashed, and going through like that. I was like, wow, that actually looked really good. It looked like it was almost a one continuous shot, and a friend of mine even agreed with that. But the acting in this was okay at best. Sylvie and Loki played their parts as best they could in this episode. This episode was a letdown. The chemistry between the pair, or honestly, like the lack of chemistry, didn't help the episode at all. The dialogue doesn't have much panache, and ultimately feels just like it's all throwaway. It's all just a placeholder for the next episode, because there's only 6 episodes, so we have episode 4, 5, and 6, so we have 3 more episodes left to go, and that really, this episode was, not very good. Hopefully the next episode can be an improvement, because of the, this was a disappointment again. We don't really find out anything new except for information about the TVA and how people in the TVA are variants. So it was really kind of, that was it, you know what I mean? I honestly would give this episode at least a 6.5 out of 10. It really was a placeholder, so it was really a letdown. So hopefully the next episode picks up, because we've only got 3 episodes left. If you guys like what I do, please hit the like button and also subscribe. Take care for now, everybody.